Good morning. Welcome to the November 10th meeting, Raleigh County Commission. Please stand and join in the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment. Hi.
As far as that here, second. Okay. Yes, okay. Thursday afternoon, post meeting, have a monthly meeting with the doctor at Stormont Vale. Nothing new to really report, as we kind of hold steady through the holiday season and New Year's before making any potential changes. So all that I guess will happen next year in 2026, which is just right around the corner if you're not thinking about it. Also Thursday afternoon, I attended the November meeting of the Flint Hills Mental Health Task Force via Zoom. After some opening welcomes and introductions, we got updates from all the various community partners in attendance. Went through the updated data dashboard that's due the month of October and discussed in depth current community concerns, challenges, and issues. Thought we had really good dialogue. I think there'll be several items that we need to kind of maybe follow up on and kind of see how they progress. Thursday evening, attended the Riley County Extension Annual Meeting out at Rockin' K's up on the K-State Edge District. After some opening welcomes and introductions there, we had a greeting from Dr. Brady Hadley. He's the director of K-State Extension. They approved their minute meetings from last year, had a roll call of all the 2026 members, had an election of new members on the executive board, got a nominating committee's reports and an oath of office for all the new elected officials there. Had a series of special awards that were presented. And then lastly, Daniel Sukas gave an interactive program titled, Do You Know Riley County's K-State Extension? I was doing pretty good there for a while on that. Last couple of questions stumped me. So yeah, anyway, might have ended up with a free pie or something, but it didn't quite work out. So Saturday night, caught most of the K-State men's game, which they won 98-71 against Bellarmine. Start the young season off at 2-0. This team can score. I don't know if this team can play defense, so still got a lot to work on. And the women had a pretty good thriller there against SMU too. In the last buzzer beater there, like 46-44. Sunday, I watched as my Jaguars squandered a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter. Lose to Houston 36-29. That's always a good feeling. Anyway, it looks like late last night, the United States Senate passed the funding bill, getting us through January, including 3 of the 12 overall bills there. So looks like the government shutdown and impasse is at least got some light at the end of the tunnel. That has to return back to the House to pass, though, because it is different forms. So keep our fingers crossed that get this done and taken care of during the week here. So that's all I've got.
Okay, well, let's see. Thursday afternoon, I attended the pre-law board meeting at the RCPD offices. We went over the upcoming agenda for the or November 17th meeting. Commissioner Maddow will not be there, so I'll have to share the meeting packet later this week and take a look and see where we're at. And I forgot to RSVP for that meeting, extension, but I did have other things to do. I did go to Keats that evening to pick up an easement, but the property owner had left the paperwork at home. She lives in another county. Supposed to mail it in. Didn't have any copies, which I have copies of all of them now. So she'll mail them. Afterward, I stopped at 3 other properties, but no one was home in any of them, so I didn't catch anybody that night. Friday early morning, neighbor and I went over to Ann Arbor Park to see the start of the Balloon Fest, but they were at another park. The Facebook page showed Annenberg, but apparently they posted it incorrectly. It's over at the community, Northeast Community Park, and I didn't, you know. So anyway, I did, go later that evening, all the balloons were, tethered and did the light up at Annenberg. Cars were allowed to, drive through and see the light up. A lot of cars. They had a huge session. I just walked around. I think I walked around the park twice. So I was walking out the next day. But it was a great sight. Back in my early days, I did a lot of Saturday, I did some work around the house and yard, getting prepared for the colder weather. Got all the hoses in from the outside, got a bunch of stuff down. Brought in a lot of plants. So anyway, in that afternoon, I took my dog to Keats for a long walk, and then stopped by two of the properties that I had missed on Thursday, which are close to the park, but still didn't catch anyone. So I stopped over to one of the older couples' homes and said, "Do you know these people?" And you know, so I'm not sure how to get a hold of them. So Sunday afternoon, after church and lunch, I reviewed the agenda and documents for today's meeting and caught up with a lot of the paperwork. So that's it.
Thursday evening, went to the Raleigh County Extension Council annual meeting, as they've gone over. Head of the extension at K-State was there, but also the volunteer of the year was Lynn and Rusty Berry, which was nice. Because they've both done a lot of work there. I'm sure they'll continue. Yeah, and then Saturday, ball game. Yeah, Saturday was the men's game. Watched them say they got a big lead and then kind of coasted for a while.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they went, "Oh, okay."
But yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
But they do know how to score. Other than that we weren't going to the balloon thing. I forgot it was. We were going to Upset Child about 6 o'clock. And Anderson was backed up clear past West Loop.
Really?
It was all these cars about what's going on. And we met some friends and go, "Oh, in line watching the balloon festival."
I don't know how many cars went through it. I was walking, but it was just.
The other people said they'd come down scenic, and the scenic was the same way. It was blocked.
Yeah.
Well,
People.
yeah, there were a lot of people parked out in my street and were walking.
Parked over there.
But they were charging $2 a car, so,
Oh, really?
yeah, so I must have done it.
Well, then I heard that they were supposed to either launch the next, or was that
Morning.
Friday morning or Saturday morning? But it was too windy to get it on, so. And that's all I've got.
Okay, first item, commissioners, need a motion to accept the low bid by Bill Contracting.
Well, I would move to accept the low bid submitted by Bowman Contracting for Station 116 improvements, including alternate one in the amount of $37,181.44.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the low bid submitted by Bowman Contracting for Station 116 improvements, including alternate one in the amount of $37,181.44. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, commissioners, need a motion to approve the tax roll correction.
Go ahead and make a motion to approve the tax roll corrections as listed.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the tax roll corrections. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair, please sign. Next, commissioner, need a motion to approve grant agreement with the City of Manhattan for recovery for funding.
I'll make a motion to approve the grant agreement with the city of Manhattan for recovery court funding.
We'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the grant agreement with the city of Manhattan for recovery court funding. All in favor?
Eric, please sign.
We have all funding.
Ooh. Got this there.
You want to attend the governmental luncheon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jacob, you, Michael, yeah, and, okay. Next now, any changes to the minutes, commissioners?
well, let's see, I would make a motion to approve the minutes of the November 6th meeting of the Raleigh County Commissioners.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the November 6th Raleigh County Commission meeting. All in favor?
Alexander, Jim, so commissioners.
Okay.
Any items for next week's press conference? Okay, next up on the budget and expenditure report. Okay,
Do have a question around the 13th, and since Elizabeth is here, Laura can ask her question. For the 13th.
Yeah.
Okay. You have, you're on the agenda for department head evaluations. Is that to discuss or get started on it, or what?
Yeah, it actually won't be, I reserved a place, it's going to be Amanda, Hannah, and David Adams. So small group got together, the department has information of what they'd like to get out of the evaluations. And an actual proposal of like a completely different one. So yeah, they'll be here and I haven't gotten any exchange from there though. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, because I thought you were ready to discuss that.
So yeah, that's what that is.
Okay.
And I'm kind of excited. I said in the work group meeting and the case is like, my kid sounded a lot like what you guys were talking about too, just shorter, more concise, and kind of not about staffing and budget, but more about overall where the department should go. And also more spread. So we'll see, but it'll be more of a discussion if you guys come to an agreement that, you know, we'll still have to, like to John's point, we'll still have to. Narratives, you know, and maybe on that. I think it was just having asking, but okay, maybe that in. And then the exec session, well, you can even anticipate if there's differences, you know, with the whole bunch that you know.
So I guess like the first half of that, so I heard Jacob and then my ears were done.
So we're next, you can really show this committee of discussion on that, and then we may have some things on marriage. Which is separated.
Yeah, no, that's all lost. Not being considered, so.
But that would not be like, really hard to find sort of this is a merit increase. So
That decision, yes.
that's what I think maybe we should just and relate them. Finance about merit increase and how it works. Yeah, no, the first part, we should,
Yeah, on my.
it'll all, be- I mean, Commissioner Mark's like. Scrap, I'll get good deal, but.
I'd like to see it consolidated into,
Mhm.
you know, their monthly reports.
Oh, yeah, yeah, which they do, so
Yeah.
they kind of, I think a good idea, but to see how you guys.
Yeah, it's always pushed to very end of the year and it's really busy then. It's tough.
Then at the same time,
Yeah.
we should get. I don't know, it feels more like a check, like a trying to get through a checklist than actually studying that.
Rather than really discussing things, yeah. Yeah, anxious to know what they have to say.
Yeah, I'm excited, you're right, that is me. I think you guys are on the same page. Yeah. Just we have to figure out how to do that.
Format, exactly, how to fine tune.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Yeah. Horses watching. No, for travel, that's just process watching. I still know the other dog man is a goal, he's really soft, but this is lead center, my campus. He enjoyed it, yeah, my sister loves them, so we there, so I missed the Bears and moving Bears. They want to do some, so it's kind of fun. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, I mean, they wanted to, solid has a lot of steps. Maybe the purpose. Yeah, you have ski posts and stuff like that. Oh, right. For wrestling very service. So my neighbors, so they're across the line. This is like, and the other boy, it was the issue, like, it's problems. So, yeah, oh, it is my own. Yeah, I guess I wondered if you can see. Yeah, that's not. Underlined.
Now, should everybody else are putting here, somewhere else.
You clean your own meter. Gosh, Brendan, like, let's, which are. Yeah. Yeah. Should be, yes, it should be.
And I will sign.
Yeah. I think some things that are better to think more. Yeah. 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 Yeah, we wouldn't want to just watch the speed thing, yeah, no. But it's good, that's good. Yeah. 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 Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Didn't pay attention to what series.
How you doing? Good. Good weekend? Yeah, you enjoyed something? No, because I got another deer Saturday morning, so that took a while to get into the process and that, so. Oh, you found one, you got one? Yeah, I got in a second, so, nice. You found out your property is up pretty much, one for you. There and neighbor, I got a neighbor, that's just not all his property. Oh, cool. Yeah, so. I've never done it, but I've heard it takes a lot of time. Yeah. To get one. Yeah, but you might be like making a process yourself, so. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That takes a lot of time. Yeah, that's 9:30 doing that Saturday, because I had a in between there. When my son-in-law turns 30 Tuesday, but we had his 30th birthday party Saturday, so that was this Franklin styles and. Just a family birthday, or do you guys do something fun? Family and friends, yeah, and we'll make a party in town. Then I told my young adults went on a calls it a Yankee bill and stuff. I saw these are all 30-ish years old, you know, everybody. You guys ever been to that Schnitzel guys in private? I saw he was cooking on Saturday. I saw he
does it he opened one Saturday.
One Saturday, yeah.
Who's that?
The Schnitzel guy.
I can't think of his name, but they stopped on the corner. It's a bar at one time and some things, but it's a German guy that owns it. He caters too, but he has German food.
Probably.
One Saturday, but
It's good.
and it always has a big crowd there.
Huh.
Probably have lunch sometime. I had something better, it's probably hard, but I had some, but he always has something, he's open on Fall Fest.
Yeah, I like that German food.
And have you know this, I mean,
I think maybe I heard about that once and forgot about it. It's ringing a bell now. Sit on Facebook every once in a while, but I forget his name too. Like
Manfred.
yeah. Yeah. They live upstairs, the upstairs that building.
Yeah, I
Moving off converted. It's on the corner, straight north of the bank,
Oh, okay.
next to where,
Mm-hmm.
next to our symbol.
Is it always this first full, like Saturday of the month, or is it so? Okay, I'll have to watch out for it another month, that's if I can get up there. Yeah, I like German food too, any food in general, I guess it's. Out for both, from Germany, and dad actually bought another something. Oh, you would have to talk about it, but he went and his dad was our janitor in high school. Custodian, but yeah, she took 5 portion German meals, dumplings, and everything all the time, and he does good food. That's kind of food that's hard to eat all the time, so that they had all base, they had like 4 or 5 boys.
Oh, so it took a shot. So you just see that.
You know.
You come from army, I guess.
Mhm. So yeah, I know good authentic German food.
We talk about rest in your gear. My brother, when he lived, he's moved now for a long time, he lived up like near Marietta. They built this house that was a shed, you know, on the building, good shape. Some of you short, this one, he went ahead and put concrete floor in, construction, but he got stainless steel tabletops from systems. Things are doing, built this place, and him and several of his neighbors all. And then they all worked together, they had a
That's
system.
what I'm
where-
thinking about doing, I'm thinking about having one section on my big shop outside, doing just that, maybe even doing you can make a little, big walk-in cooler. A small one, you know, just.
Whether he had, I think he just had
Deer food.
just a regular freezer.
There's a company that makes a unit, that just like your standard window air conditioner, and this unit tricks the air conditioner to not shut off thermostat, so you can use it to keep it, you know, 35 degrees. They can hang, so I've been doing some research on that. But yeah, I mean, this is our 3rd year we crossed that this year already.
He and friends all, they all, so they built it. Built it shop, because he got some, like I said, one of the jobs they're going to tear down something, he got some stainless steel tape, so
Yeah, gotta see. That's I'm looking at. You know, a couple times we processed the ring hogs here in the last few years. Kids keep asking about, you're gonna do that again.
That's gotta be a job, that's probably a lot bigger than yours.
Yeah, they are bigger than here, but it doesn't happen, you know, you're doing pretty stuff, and so. It's like anything, you know what you're doing, you have to practice some, and then it's help, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, yeah, you're trying to build yourself.
Yeah, takes a lot of time. It's fun making bacon, curing bacon yourself too, you know.
Yeah, I like
You make the quality bacon, and,
But we're probably isn't like it's fucking.
oh yeah.
It's kind of different stuff.
Mhm.
You have a slicer?
No,
I think that's my least favorite parts.
yeah, we just gotta, we keep bone and everything, so we don't think of any bones really.
Yeah, I don't think it's like, yeah, it's not bad, it's, takes a lot.
Yeah, it just got a large, it's a knife for cutting bacon.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, I. So it's like tedious to do.
Mhm.
It's 50 cuts to cut, value.
Yeah. No bacon, I bone blade, you know,
But always go
here.
long.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You see something.
Use the pink salt for your curry salt, or do you, I used to use that more than stuff, but I.
No, there's a company, it's Walton's, going away, and they have all kinds of different.
It's different.
Some really good sausage, spices that we use too.
That's that place I wish, I think I've been down to their store.
Mhm. Yeah, they have really good quality stuff.
Yeah,
And they're really helpful too if you call them, you know,
oh, yeah,
what's best. And
Yeah.
even made sausage, chorizo sausage, breakfast, you know, stuff so good. You get a pig walk in the tree stand.
what?
I didn't even get a pig walk in.
Yeah.
You don't get any wild ones out there.
Every once in a while, there was some years ago, I remember, and you know, people were saying, if you see them, just shoot them, but no, I've never seen any. Or private used to have heck of a problem. 2 years ago,
They got
yeah,
some loose
so
out
they
there.
were so bad, they're having people go out there trying to get, couldn't limit them. Wild hogs are really intelligent, they're tough to eradicate. There's been like a lot of places that have to. I don't know if they did or not with us, but they ended up using their helicopters and appropriate guns.
Oh,
Because they
really?
are such destructive animals, yeah.
Any commissioners?
No.
Rich Vargo, Riley County Clerk. First report, Commissioners, is a 2025 year-to-date wages overtime compared to budget. You can see in budget's almost spelled there. You can see the percent of year used, we're at 83.33. That's just what we use as our barometer to kind of highlight those departments that are over, close to that, to kind of keep an eye on them through the year. A lot of the departments, of course, seem high right now. Have to remember, we just had another month with 3 pays, and that's what impacts it. And so it balances out at the end of the year. That always gets people's attention. Everything's looking good. Always like to point out the EMS ambulance, it looks atypically high for overtime percentage. That is budgeted overtime. That's part of their 24/7, 365 day a year service. That's just part of it. Elizabeth and David have done a great job have done a good job at whittling that down as much as they could, and it's much lower than it has been in past years for sure. Always like to look at the overall overtime, and it's just at 5% of wages, which is not bad at all. Of course, we are going into the storm season, and that's what can severely impact it with solid waste and public works, but we do have more overtime budgeted in those departments as well. Any questions on that first page, Commissioners? Next page is just a little bit of a snapshot, a little more detail on the regular salaries, overtime, and seasonal laborers to give you a little better definition of where those monies are being spent in each respective department. Any questions on those? Next report, 2025 year-to-date budget activity. Once again, using the 83.3 as our barometer. Those that are highlighted in the blue are those that are over that at this point in time. Of course, these on the first page, they're all within general, so they won't require a budget amendment, but those on the next 2 pages, if they are over 100% or getting close to that, anticipate Brittany will be bringing a budget amendment for those. None of these look atypical. Budget appropriations, of course, high budgeted transfers are all done. Like to point out the county general, which is 3 lines down from the budget appropriations highlighted in the blue, the atypically low as it is 27.12. And that's due, of course, for the budget stabilization amount that is in there. Any questions on that page, Commissioners? Second page, you can see all of those. Of course, that bold dark box is everything related to community corrections and juvenile intake. Looks much different than it did years ago. It was much simpler and easier, but we are required now by the state to separate it out this way. And of course, some of those will be on the budget amendment that Brittany will be bringing to you later in November, probably. Any questions on those? Next page are all enterprise funds. Those are special benefit districts where individuals that reside or own properties in those districts, or how those are funded. There are no ad valorem taxes used on any of these special districts. Everything's looking pretty good. Any questions on those? Next report's 2024 to 2025 comparison of the respective departments. Just a snapshot to see how expenditures have changed from October to October, and also year to date through October for all of those departments. Any questions on those, Commissioners?
Is emergency management, did they have something special this year?
They got that big grant, remember? We didn't budget for it, but they have that grant.
Something.
Yeah, they had a grant earlier in the year after the budget was done. Yep.
Oh.
Yep, that is accurate. 2025 year-to-date budget activity. This is a more detailed breakdown of that county general I just spoke of that is atypically lower in the percentage. Of course, that is because of the 4.25 million in budget stabilization. Personnel, I always like to point out there are no personnel that are paid directly out of this. This is separation of service payments to individuals for time that they may have accrued. Any questions on that page there, Commissioners? Next 2 reports on RCPD expenses paid by Riley County. I myself like the snapshot of this next report better, the 2025 year-to-date budget activity gives a comparison since 2021 of those expenditures. You can see a little difference, commissioners, in the physicians line from 21, and then also comparatively to the overall total of 2024. We have far exceeded that already, and we don't have the choice to stop expenditures at this point. So also building maintenance is higher this year. Those are the two that I always typically watch on this, anything related to inmate medical and building maintenance. Years past, building maintenance got really high on that facility, going up a little now, but it's not even where it was years ago. So it's a large facility, and building maintenance and infrastructure, in particular HVAC systems, get very expensive. So it's a good one to watch. And of course, budget appropriations, they are what they are. That's what we're obligated to pay. Of course, we do watch the physician. We all know it's directly related to the inmate population, psychotropic drugs, and also the overall cost in RCPD, offsite inmate housing. Now, commissioners, is a serious cost that we're having to deal with. Any questions on this page?
It's the land, I mean, I know what the office space rental is. What's the land rental?
That's what it is. It's the substation in Aggieville that we rent.
No, that's the office space rental. A couple of, it says land rental lease.
Land rental lease. I would have to look. What I would have said is that would have been the firing range. So I'm wondering if they're putting firing range expenditures in there, but I'd have to check because we used to lease that land. So I'm wondering if that title just doesn't need changed,
Okay.
would be my guess.
That's what I thought. Yeah, it used to be a
Yeah,
leased land. But
I'll clarify that with Brittany, but that would be my guess. It's a consistent expenditure there, so I have to look at that. Any other questions? No, we own that now. We own that. Yeah, we bought that. That I do know for sure. I do know, I know the commissioners were told early on about that new facility in Aggieville that's getting built, a new hotel, and about potential space being available in there for a new and improved Aggieville substation. I do believe you will be hearing updated information on that soon as they're starting on that building. It would be a way to get them more space. Of course, rent will be more because you're renting more space, but they have, and it's totally, at least the way they operate, very marginal space that they use right now, and it can be somewhat dangerous at times for staff in there. And so I think the current owner of that facilities wants to put a good faith effort forward for the community and giving them a good deal, but they're talking about 3 times as much space as they're leasing. So it would be kind of appropriately priced, I think, as well for the commission to consider. That, of course, is a lease that you guys have sole authority to approve or deny. So it's something that will be coming before you soon. Also let you know, because of all of those expenditures that I've been talking about regarding physician, offsite housing, cost of RCPD, Brittany will bring some more bad news on that we're going to have to amend that and probably we definitely going to have to transfer around $300,000 from general into the RCPD fund to cover expenditures that we're statutorily obligated to pay. So not good news, but it is what it is. Those are the cost of doing business to provide those services to our community. Any questions on that, commissioners? Here's the ACH offsite medical directly related to, you can see, just look at that 31,000 pull balance line, already $77,000 over in inmate medical. There's nothing we or RCPD administration can do about that. And that's always a topic in our community, keeping taxes low and keeping taxes flat. And the commission does a great job of reducing the pain as much as you can, but it's impossible to keep them flat when you have expenditures going up at these rates. There is a cost of doing business. Any questions, commissioners? Okay, and if you go through those reports, have any more questions later, just send them to us. I'll check on that one that Greg you had and get back with all of the commissioners on that. Sound good? Thank you.
Nine 15.
Lord, when we're talking about, you know, what we do in jail. Here. Another, or something, which they have got some space. I don't know, expensive. Silence.
Yeah. Well.
I don't know.
Versus cost of build something.
Yeah. Everything's so expensive right now.
Everything about staff watching, or having these meetings that like inmate housing. Inmate housing, she's.
Okay.
Oh, so instead of.
So it's set up. See, that's the. Yeah. See, just Thursday now. Well, before it can kind of cut it off sometimes, and I'd be like scrolling, and it'd be like you could only see half of it or whatever. So, yeah. Morning, Commissioners. Steve Shirley and Tammy Lentz here on behalf of the Employee Day Committee. And today we're just going to kind of present an overview of what the day was and what it looked like. So the Employee Day training took place on October 13th at the AMC theaters with the theme Growing into the Future. The committee determined the theme fit well with the changes occurring here in Riley County, with the new EMS station being built and a strategic plan that was in action, and then also how we currently kind of utilize AI. The day included training sessions, service awards, recognizing our employees, and of course, the Employee Day Fun Fair. The official head count was 200. A bit too far. Still, the official head count was 231 employees plus K-State Research and Extension. And as far as the survey goes, 136 employees participated and 128 completed the whole survey, and 8 only partially filled it out. So we had our welcome message given by Commissioner McKinley, and then we had the keynote session. So Emily Lenning with Roots and Legacy Coaching, Consulting and Communications presented the keynote, and it was titled Tradition Rich, Future Ready. Emily highlighted how our work ensures that roads get cleared or maintained, permits and paperwork are processed accurately, and residents' questions are getting answered. She shared that sometimes traditions can block innovation and improvements or slows the response to change, but also can build trust and continuity and anchors who we are and what we stand for. She also spoke on how your mindset can impact on those around you and provided specific examples of people or entities rethinking a problem and solving it. There's a couple that I enjoyed. One where the bike company was distributing bikes. They were getting broken essentially at delivery. So what they did is made a box look like a TV. And so then their damage rates went way down. The other one I really enjoyed was some window washers were dressed up as superheroes at a children's hospital. So it's just those little extra things to make people's days. She ended her presentation with 2 questions for the staff. Who is making you better and who are you making better? This was some food for thought as we went through the day. So as you can kind of see from the survey results, the keynote were overall positive. Majority of the respondents giving it a good rating. So any questions on that? So moving on then, we had our service awards after the break. There was a total of 38 service awards given out. You can see that 24 employees received 5 to 10 years, 10 employees 15 to 20, and 4 for 25 to 35 years. The Reach Employee of the Year was Cindy Gabriel. And so the survey results on that, you can kind of see that we're overall positive, and I think everybody, for the most part, enjoyed that section of the day. So after that, then we had our breakout sessions, which were from Insight to Action with Emily Lenning, and then AI Hype to Practical Use with Troy Tabor. So the first session with Emily, this was a pretty small group session. But it did dive into the question, what does it mean to be future ready in your current role? The topic of status versus power was also discussed and what differentiates the two. Status is another person's opinion of you, how you're respected, while power is controlling resources that other people want. The one line that really stood out to me was that status can't be taken, it must be given. Emotional intelligence and self-awareness were also discussed during the session. The session ended with creating a leadership action plan by asking, again, 4 questions, challenging the people that attended. 4 questions were, what's one strength I can bring to my team or workplace? What is one behavior, habit, or mindset I want to adjust to better support my team or community? what's one action I will take in the next 30 days to raise the bar on what good work is for my team? And how can I invest others in myself?
And I will say that that session was a little bit smaller, but it was really nice. Steve and I were in that session together, but there are also some future leaders within Riley County that I saw there that have recently been promoted in positions within the county. So it was nice to kind of get a little bit more of, we can contribute continually.
And so the survey results on that, again, you can see the NA is a large piece of the pie. Again, that's because not everybody was able to attend. But those that did attend gave it pretty positive marks there. So the other session was the introduction to AI and its uses with Troy Tabor from Wichita State University. He provided a lot of historical overview, sharing timelines and data, then dove into how the variety of modern AI systems use prompts to create written materials, podcasts, videos, music, and even educational courses. The main tools he covered were ChatGPT, Gamma, and Obo. It was a lot of info from someone that attended, said it was a lot of information, but I think several people were prompted to start experimenting with AI after learning more about the different tools. So again, the survey results on that session were in the average category, but again, overall, all positive there. Then we broke for lunch and then came back in the afternoon for the panel meeting, which was strategic planning for Riley County. It was held with Molly and Grant from Shockey Consulting, Commissioner McKinley, and the department heads Amanda Webb, John Ellerman, and Corey Meyer. Molly and Grant just spent some time on what a strategic plan is and why would you have one and implement one. There was also discussion on what's occurred so far in Riley County and in particular, like the lighting and storage at the museum, the new EMS building. And I know Corey and others showed appreciation and was shared with the commissioners actually making things happen with the plan. So the results for that were, again, still kind of in the average, more average, but still positive there. And then as the day came to an end, it ended with the Employee Day Fun Fair held at A&H Farms. I would like to take a moment to give a shout out to the Fun Fair Committee and volunteers for putting it together. It's always that opportunity for the Riley County employees to be together and network. Unfortunately, the weather didn't cooperate, but people were still able to seek shelter by doing a hay rack ride or standing in the shed or under a canopy, and eventually the rain did stop there towards the end. I mentioned earlier that during Emily's keynote, she spoke about how your mindset can impact those around you. And so I think the weather was a great test to people's moods and mindsets that they can create there. So the day ended with the pie in the face. That was a result of a United Way campaign that raised, I think it was over $500. So it's kind of a neat way to end the day. So results on that, a little more mixed. You can still see that 71% of the respondents put in the average to excellent range. So again, part of it is we hone in on kind of what people like most. You can kind of read the comments, but kind of highlight just a couple. People enjoyed the overall day. Most comments did revolve around spending time together and the keynote speaker. The last one there, just the speakers kept things interesting and interactive. It was not just sitting through listening to people talk. Of course, there's always changes. And this, I think, like I say, is the one question on the survey that I think shines the light on what value or what impact this day has on staff. So in addition to some of those comments on the screen there, just a couple more was get more involved with my coworkers and utilize resources, AI for efficiency. Have a lot more grace for things out of my control and kind of that mindset that we bring every day. And one other comment was think about strategic planning. So things to improve. I think, yeah, I see. Yeah, we're always looking to improve the day, and of course, the number one theme, number one item was the sound quality, and I think Corey's already kind of spoke to that a little bit. I've visited with him and getting something in the works to get that addressed. Another part of it was being able to attend both breakout sessions. I know in the past that was something where you kind of had similar breakout sessions and be able to attend each one at different time slots. The next one was just kind of a better flow to the day, shorter breaks, and I can kind of take ownership of that part. It was one of those things that it was a good learning lesson for us on communicating with the presenters on the time expectations, and but also have those in the past we've had like Riley County trivia, dad jokes, those sort of things. So just those little fillers like that. So something to look at there. Budget wise, again, as of today, all expenses are accounted for. There's a couple smaller breakfast items that haven't posted, but again, we'll still come in below budget there. And for next year, so again, afterwards, available members of the committee met and we discussed kind of what worked, what didn't. It seems like the AMC Theater still seems to be the best venue and people still want to get together and meet people from other departments. We are currently searching for new committee members. We've already had a couple, 2 or 3 that have reached back out, get again, kind of a broader base of all departments. A volunteer list outlining various tasks. That was something I think is kind of important because we do have several people that want to help, maybe not be on the committee, but help during the day and just outlining those tasks and assigning those appropriately. Themes, of course, will be discussed and finalized, but some ideas that have already been mentioned are building relationships, building community, which is explore having more local community leaders come in and speak. And other thoughts, we're having a session highlighting the Riley County departments and also hold our team building activities out at Public Works.
No, please add. This year, commissioners, Candy and Steve were the co-chairs and Steve was like the lead on that. And Steve is going to rotate into a member role. So he's going to participate, but Tandy's going to take the lead. And she's still searching for her co-chair to kind of help train up. And that's their idea of succession on that. So they keep it in a leadership in the employee realm instead of, as we started, it used to be an HR kind of led initiative. Now it's more an HR and counselor advised initiative. So I'm really, really proud of both of you guys' work. And I'm really proud of you guys stepping up and doing something that's a little out of your comfort zone because it's been a really rewarding day.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And speaking of thank yous, that's kind of this last part here. So again, just whether it's meeting someone new, learning how you impact those around you, or how AI can be used, we really hope that employees found something that not only enrich their day, but also can be used in the future. I'd like to thank all the people that made Employee Day possible, not only those on the list here, but also the volunteers, REACH members that stepped in and helped throughout the day. And then finally, just thank you, commissioners, for your time and attention today. And we look forward to coming back in June to discuss the 2026 Employee Day. And if you have any questions, happy to take those now.
I thought it was, like I say, especially considering the rain, I thought everybody still was able to have a good time up there.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't pouring down today.
Right. Yeah. It was unfortunate and it's,
Yeah,
but
it still went well.
yeah.
The whole day went well.
Thank you. That's the plan anyways. That's it.
Nice work, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Commissioners, that's not, I don't think you get that. It's 9:35. You can't draw the paint on?
Yeah, maybe around. It's not playing right now, it's trying to set. The other things can feel like that. I hope she right. Which is good, right? That's like, I love people that come. Yes, right. Well, there's reason to, and you know, it's so great and share. Okay. Susan, that's what she's ready. Oh, she's like, man. Yeah, it's, you know, I have to listen to go back to show them to go, but. They're not even past the area. So. Maybe it's not. I think it's like it was, I don't know, there's a difference in. That is often. Also interesting. You're gonna show up, say. Some of those. Judgments. Here. It also. It's not. Sure, yes.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jacob Hanson, Riley County Councilor, here to provide a staff update as well as our administrative work session. I'll just kind of run through a couple of the bulleted listed items here as far as the staff update goes. As you all are aware, we have the First Christian Church RFP that we're going to be issuing out here relatively soon, ideally within the week. I've spoken with the commission a number of times regarding this RFP, and we're about ready to get this one going. Next, we have a couple of nuisance abatement cases going through district court. More recently, and I can't recall if Michael may have touched on this last week, but we've had to do a motion to revoke diversion agreement recently. So we're going to utilize here very shortly our legislative authority provided in Senate Bill 384. So we're going to go through that process, and part of that, my office, we're going to work on making sure that process goes smoothly. We're going to have to come back to the board, of course, to have you guys authorize us to clean up the property, and then we assess it, of course, those costs against the property itself. So that will be coming momentarily. First, we have to, of course, get that conviction, and that's what the whole Senate bill kind of centered around on. So that won't be happening for a bit of time. It'll probably be another month or two before that happens. But things are moving on, and it'll be good to actually get through this process so we can go back to the legislature when this thing expires and say, hey, look, we've actually got to go through this whole process and everything's going well and as intended. If you recall, at least when the passage of that bill happened, and some of the languages that's within that bill, they were very concerned about perhaps overuse into folks that are, agriculturally zoned or exempt from regulations, and they don't want us to be really interfering with that. And so far, that is very far from the case. So I think we'll be able to provide a good update to the legislature once that time comes. Of course, next we have you guys sign the City of Riley Fire Department and the Riley County Rural Fire District consolidation. We're excited to get that thing going. Just provide executed copies to all the interested parties, and hopefully that all goes well. Next, of course, we have the Keats Sewer Project, as I'm sure Commissioner Foki is keeping us all well advised on. We're doing well in getting the remaining amount of easements. I think in this past 2 weeks, we've really done a lot of outreach and have got good responses from the large majority of folks. So things seem to be improving very well. The rest of the issues are things that are certainly a little bit more general. We have a couple things regarding benefit districts that we're looking at, and especially sewer benefit districts outside of just Keats that we're kind of keeping an eye on, and going to be communicating with some of the folks out there regarding some of those issues that are occurring out there. Property tax exemptions, specifically our county tax exemption applications. We've been working with Anna, which she's been very helpful in working with us to make sure that we get those out, and we get, of course, county property exempted as per the law, which is great. And she's very happy to see us get those in on time. As far as any other work goes, it's pretty much business as usual. There's a lot of little things here and there that we're asked to look at. Contracts, of course, have been pretty common, and Michael's done a great job, at least from what I've seen so far, on handling things while I was out of the office last week. So kudos to him to be able to handle that in my place. Any questions on any of the work that's going on or specific projects? All right. Very good. As far as the administrative work session goes, I do not believe I have anything to add there outside of course, we have our legislative luncheon next week, and that's on Thursday. And so we've received a few interested folks from our legislative delegation in our area. Probably not as much as we like, but we're going to give them a good brief overview of our positions. We look forward to trying to lobby for those. If you have any personal contacts with any of those folks out there, just reach out to my office to see if they've RSVP'd already. And if they haven't, I'd encourage you to maybe reach out to them. With that, I have nothing further unless Commissioner has any questions for me. Okay.
Execution list. I'm 55 for earlier. Go ahead, John. Yes.
Good morning, Commissioner. John Ellerman, Public Works. And this morning, first thing on my agenda is to request to fill a custodial position. This position will become vacant on December 31st is retirement date of one of our custodians. So we'll start the process earlier to see if we can't get somebody in about the same time she just goes to retire. So, this is for the Carnegie Building, Barry's office, and then that person is also taking 1 day a week so far, half a day to run out and do EMS. And we'll eventually probably take EMS and emergency management when that shop opens this summer. I guess I would ask for some overlap if it's possible to get somebody in that quickly. I don't expect probably 2 to 3 weeks maybe of overlap, but possible. We should have plenty of room in our budget to do so.
Okay, then I would make a motion to approve the Public Works Department to advertise for and fill the custodial worker 1 position.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the Public Works to advertise fill the custodial worker 1 position.
Nice.
Thank you. Oh. No, now I screwed it up. All right. Next on the agenda for me is my monthly update. We'll go through some of the projects we have. Not much going. Trying to bug the consultant to get this last project of the last half-cent sales tax. At least that was on our list to do was that. Besides Marlite Road improvement, and the design is working on it. We're just trying to finish up getting right away on that bridge project, and that was hung up because of change of ownership or into an estate. Where instead of dealing with one, or now we might have to deal with 3 or 4 people. That seems to be the holdup. I'm hoping that's coming along, and I'd like to see that if it started here, we bid out before the end of the year. Designs, we should be seeing some schematic drawings for the Marlette improvement, just kind of getting started in the early part of design, but hopefully those are coming soon. Window project, the CPE. When I did our final walkthrough Friday, had to list a lot of cleanup and little touch up scratches and things going on, but they should be hopefully finishing that up in the next week or so, and we can officially sign off on them. There's one window we have left to do is in the elevator shaft. And of course, we have to have someone from the elevator company to be there while we're in the shaft. I guess to help control the elevator, whatever, I don't know. So we have to have somebody there, and hopefully we can use somebody from the elevator project to come and do that while they're here instead of paying. It was like $450 an hour while they're here just to watch us work, somebody else work. It's kind of like a railroad. You have to call and have a flagger for the railroad to watch the train while you work on the railroad tracks. I will too. I take the day off. It's right. Yeah. the lowest bid. Elevator projects, the physical work on most of them are about finished. They started on Carnegie on Tuesday last week. When they're all done, there's some programming left to do in each one of them, to get the new monitors and screens working and tell you what floor they're on and, those type of things. So that's still going on. We have, hopefully we'll get that all finished up in the next few weeks to a month. We have one of the projects on our .2 sales tax is the Airport Road Bridge culvert. We have started design, we're going to do that in-house with Alvin's crew. Simple steel span bridge over that little road that serves about 2 or 3 houses back in there and a couple farmstead. We are in the process now of clearing trees and to build a shoe fly around that so we can get traffic over while we build the bridge. And one of the residents up there building a new house, and they were worried about getting a concrete truck over the existing bridge. It was a culvert, so we don't typically load rate culverts. We had Schaub even come out there and it was pretty low rated. So in order to safely get the concrete trucks and the material trucks to that house while we're building a shoe fly that they can use even before we start building a bridge. We're hoping to get the material list here pretty soon and start ordering material for it to start doing that project. We're guessing maybe early spring to start it. So we're not out in the snow and cold while trying to build a bridge. Parks crews, typical end of year mowing, coming to an end, making a repair on irrigation line. You've seen that out in front of the office building. Somehow we put a tree right on top of the irrigation and the conduit for the lights. That's what happened there. The tree was restricting this water line, so that's what started the thing. And then as we were digging up that part of it, we found the conduit for the lights that are out there. How and why, we don't know. I'm not really wasting time now trying to understand it, but that's what we do when we have a project to do. Just put it where we want it. He's getting back in, trying to clean up the landscape beds and put some mulch in before winter. They did some re-roofing of a shelter at Fairmont Park and spot seating at places. The operations crew, they went back to five days, 8-hour days last week. So they're back to a regular schedule. They were cleaning ditches and shoulder work on various roads. Blue River Hills culvert, the low water crossing. We replaced the old metal culvert that the bottom was falling out, and with a 4x14 culvert, metal concrete culvert. Hopefully that'll restrict or reduce the number of times the water overtops the road. And then when it does, it hopefully gets off a little bit sooner than it had. We like that project. Now if he wants to do another one or two, one of them at Wildcat Park.
It's a huge improvement.
I've known it being done for 15 years. The old guy used to talk about how they had one time caused a lot of damage. It's a huge improvement.
Yeah, they started tearing it out. There was nothing left to the bottom. Water was getting underneath the crossing instead of through the culverts. So.
And you get the rest of the work our crews can use. Our crews did that. They did a job.
When you get them to do it without complaining too much, they'll do it. They just, but yeah, they do good work. I appreciate it. Most of them they all do really good work. Airport Road began doing that with building the shoe fly with our crews, and the bridge will be done with our crews. Grading roads as the rain, as we have moisture, doing some structural repair on the wing wall on McDonald Creek. Last few weeks, we've had some snow meetings with our own employees and with city, state, and Potawatomi County employees. We met last Friday over at, 2 weeks ago, Friday, at City Public Workshop to discuss, kind of talk about how we each do our work, and then if we have overlaps, we take care of some roads for the city takes care of roads for us, and then we're just making sure everybody is on the same page of getting the roads done. We will have some issues with probably plowing Dyer Road and the highway some over the dam this winter. When KDOT decides to close Tuttle Cove, no, the Highway 13 at the culvert just north of the roundabout I think they're supposed to do that this January. And then I imagine it's a couple month project to dig that culvert out, repair it and bury it back up. So that's going to be right through winter. Well, the only way we have access to get to Tuttle Cove Road to plow is Barnes, Dyer, over the dam. If we get there first, we will probably plow their roads so we can get through. Probably won't treat them, but we'll plow them for sure. But the equipment has been in the shop and out of the shop and ready to go. And the asphalt crew's been crack sealing roads. Open positions, I'd really say I would full until retirement came, so then I'm not full, or I won't be. Hopefully this comes pretty quick or fairly reasonable. We won't have an open position for very long. EMS of the old remodel of the old EMS building for emergency management and fire. Demo work is done. There's nothing left in that building. It looks pretty good the way it is. So they'll be extending the wall, putting foundations. They're doing the concrete work outside. Hopefully get that done before really winter really sets in. I'll have the change order for you on Thursday for the extra concrete work, flagpoles, and for that. The ITGIS, you signed the contract with Baker McMillan last week. So they've got some ideas. They're starting to do the design on it. Had some discussion with BHS on the chamber remodel. So they're getting going on. I haven't been over there yet today, but I was thinking they probably start this week getting some of the removal and start doing some of that work. Peterson Ranch paving project. I think Thursday and Friday they were doing surface lift. I believe that is finished. And then what they have left is to do some shouldering, putting the rock shoulders on the edge of the road, and they should be finished up here soon. We're reviewing the RFQs for the health department, FCRC space needs study. This committee will meet Thursday to pick a couple consultants, 2 or 3 consultants to maybe do interviews with. And hopefully we can get those in and to you for selection before the end of the year. The county attorney courthouse, the judicial services study we have a contract. We're working on a contract, got a draft from BBN. And so as soon as I get through that, and I think I shared it with Jacob knowing he was gone. I shared it with him just to get a head start on reviewing it before it comes to you. There was a agreement somewhat with Wildcat Creek or with the county, with the city and Blueville Nursery about improving that section up there and that the east end of Wildcat Creek, maybe from not Seth Child, but scenic to the bridge. City approached Blueville. They were wanting to get it done, but they weren't willing to improve the roads outside this development. The city has problems putting the money out to do that without that promise or that idea of any development coming in. So the city kind of backed out, or at least put the onus on Blueville to do something with their roads to get them built up before we do the approach, basically from Scenic to the bridge, to that part of Wildcat Creek, improve it. We can still do it if we wanted to do it. That piece of it, there's some of that money there. That money was coming from sales tax, either half cent, probably the 0.2 sales tax. And just built it to our standards, 24-foot wide shoulders, back to the bridge. And then if the city and Blueville ever develops inside and they decide to do it, the city will widen do their portions of it. I'll be bringing that to you at some other time for discussion. I just wanted to put that in your mind now while it's there to think about before I bring it. Looking for a decision for you. A transfer station, they're preparing for the floor replacement. Had some meetings out there last week. Meeting with KDHE to see if we can have a temporary dump site so we can load trucks elsewhere instead of in the floor and in the building. It's usually a no-no not to dump and store trash outside of it, but if this downtime, we're looking at least a month, that maybe some of the other neighbors couldn't handle the extra trash they would get if we had stayed closed for that long. So we're looking at temporary solutions to keep business running as we do replace the floor. IT has installed some more cameras, put up some better cameras so we can keep track of the comings and goings of people out there. We do seem to have studies up here, or you can tell people have been in there, that whether they're trying to steal stuff out of the buildings or picking stuff up out of the scrap pile. You wouldn't believe the kind of stuff that gets put in the scrap pile that people seem to want. I mean, some of them are good, actually good mowers and other equipment might be good. They were just moving, didn't want to mess with it, so we left it. The city has been asking, and I kind of agree with them, they're asking KDOT to leave the signals up at Sutchild and Marlatt. KDOT says it doesn't think it'll meet warrants, but they said if you want to do a study, we can do a study. Benish has offered to do a study for $10,000 to traffic movements and traffic counts to go through. There's like eight to 10 different warrants that have to have in place before you warrants having a signal there. And they would do that for us. If we split it with the city and us we can do that. They're asking if we would sign the contract, maybe not have to go through all the attorney stuff that may not happen in a few years through the city side. You know,
the intersection would be good to have light there.
I agree with that. I think it's helped a lot of close calls. If not handled a few accidents that might have happened or could have happened in the past.
People come through there really fast. There's some lights.
It's kind of hard to see someone over the hill when it's the same as the other intersections. You go one person in the line to turn coming out on Marlatt, and it's hard to see around them to know if you can go or not, is the big issue, it seems like. So if you're somewhat agreeable to that, I'll work something out with Benish to send us that, and the city will pay us back. If not, then we do something different.
No, you get it.
Yeah.
I think it's probably worth the 10,000 for them to spend the time out there. And doing turning movements is a tedious project. It's sitting out there all day counting vehicles and which way they're going, which way, how they're turning. And that helps us keep that light there, then pretty much a good for all.
Did you?
That's all on my list. If you guys have any questions, something you need to tell me about, and I'm here for you. Thank you.
Do you have an agenda for the meeting on Friday? And we'll meet on the Northeast Kansas meeting? Because I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I'd like to know what time it's open.
They're always over right after lunch.
Right after that.
Yeah, eat lunch and. Oh, the county officials.
It says Northeast Kansas. Yeah.
St. Bernard's Catholic Hall.
I don't have anything else.
Me too. Go ahead and make a motion to adjourn the November 10th meeting of the Riley County Commission.
I would second it.
Moved and seconded to adjourn the November 10th meeting of the Raleigh County Commission. All in favor?
Bye.
Good week.